how are you doing? I'm fine, thank you for asking. So today we all are going to be the witness of and against my very poorly money management because I have no self-control, I have no self-control. Since most of it are thrifted, I don't really feel bad about myself, but considering the amount of TBR books in my shelf, I am so disgusted with myself. But put it aside, I want to share with you what I got. So let's move in. We are reaching the end of the year already, which also means that I just had my birthday last month in September. So of course I bought myself something. Of course I bought myself a book, and that is the Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer in the Barnes & Noble Collectibles edition. It's, oh my god, so pretty. This is like the hands down the prettiest book that I have in my shelf. If you do not know, the Iliad and the Odyssey are considered as the main or the two major ancient Greek epic poems surrounding the stories of Trojan War and also all the Olympian gods, if you may. I am not a huge fan of Greek myth yet. I believe that this is the oldest work, the oldest classic that I have. This is not classic, this is like ancient work that I have in my shelf. And so although I am excited, I am also a bit intimidated by it because I do not know much about Greek myth or do not know what to expect and how to read it actually. This is translated by Samuel Butler and yeah, by Barnes & Noble. I just want you to appreciate this workmanship of this book. I think this depicts the Trojan War that I'm saying, and look at that. So amazing. They say that do not judge a book by its cover, but if it's a collectible edition, you should. The second book that I bought is this. This is a Neil Gaiman Stardust. I heard about this book from my brother-in-law when we went back to our hometown. I mean, he went back to my mother's-in-law's house and I went back to my house, but we went back together to our place, and in an attempt not to sleep while my husband driving, he literally spoiled this book for me. This is my first Neil Gaiman book, and look at it, this is so pretty as well. But I don't know if it's going to be as good because he practically has spoiled it for me. It starts with the story of a young Tristram who fell in love with a girl, but the girl wanted a fallen star. The girl wanted Tristram to prove his love towards her by getting her the fallen star that she saw falling from the sky one night. So we are going to follow Tristram's adventure in retrieving the star and possibly see what the star is all about. I believe that there is a team or a group of people also looking for this star, the same star. This star is important in order for them to get the throne or something. I do not remember basically, but I know that I'm going to love this book. Of course, I thrifted in Carousel and it's only $10. The third book is the one that I saw, I think one mom influencer post on Instagram, and I was like, I need that book, and that is How Not to Hate Your Husband After Kids by Jancee Dunn. I do not know if I'm the only one feeling this, but I feel like the relationship or marriage dynamic has definitely changed after having a kid. I'm gonna put a disclaimer here. I do not hate my husband. I think it's a social condition. It's the preconceived notion that the mom or the wife would take over the majority of work when it involves the kid or the house. That social condition has definitely changed, I believe, for the past 50 years, because most of the women, most of the female are working now. But sadly, even though we are working now, the whole part of taking care of the house as well as taking care of the kid and all that still fall on our shoulders, and we need to change that. And so I believe that this book would help me. So far, I'm loving this. I'm 57 pages through. So funny because when I read this book, I was like, yes, Yes, all the time. And that is How Not to Hate Your Husband After Kids. The next book is this. This is, I believe, a psychological thriller. I heard about this book somewhere on YouTube here or on TikTok. This is My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braiwaiti. I believe, if I'm not mistaken to say her name. I believe that this is a Nigerian literature. So as the title suggests, this book concerning two sisters, in which one sister always murdering someone, another sister has to keep on covering her tracks because she keep on murdering all of her boyfriends, I believe. So taking this October spooky season, I would love to read this, and it's only this thin, and I hope I will enjoy this.
Mommy!
Yeah.
Actually.
The next book that I got is this. This is the collection of short stories by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, and one of it is the Yellow Wallpaper. I've heard so many people talk about the Yellow Wallpaper. I know it's a story about a woman who has fallen and descend into madness, into psychosis, into craziness, but also how the society in general conceive this madness when it's a woman. And I believe that this is one of the important texts or literature in feminism movement. Also, I feel like one day I would love to make a video about all of the or some of the literature works that I've read regarding feminism. So yes, that's The Yellow Wallpaper and all other short stories by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. The next book that I've got is this. This is The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Bronté. So, I've read Jane Austen this year, and I've never read any of the Bronté sisters novel because I feel like it's so hard. English is my second language, right? And I feel like reading classic English is something else. But I would love to read this because after reading the synopsis, I know that I would love to read it. In this book, Bronté wrote her masterpiece to reflect the fragile position of women in society and her belief in universal redemption. I know that I'm gonna love this book. I feel like this kind of literature is very, very important, and again, I really would like to examine this, really would like to read it. If you do not know, this is another pretty edition by Penguin Classics. This is the Penguin English Library edition. I have not decided yet which edition I like the most to read from. I have not decided yet, but I just, keep them all so that I would have the options. The next book is another classics, but it's a modern classics, and that is Fernando Pessoa, The Book of Disquiet. I love this edition. Oh my god, this is a Penguin Modern Classics edition, but this is on the white spine. I believe they have like the mint and also the white spine, but this is the white spine. I've heard this book from, of course, Emma from the channel Emmy. She talks about how she really loved this book, and I bought this purely because of her. After her highly recommending 100 Years of Solitude and me really loving it, I feel like I can't go wrong with any of her recommendations. This is like undated diary in a way. It's called A Factless Autobiography, and I'm kind of excited of reading this. The next book that I've heard so many people raved about, so many people recommend it to be one of the most heartwarming book that they read. I don't know. We'll see later. And this is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I've heard that this book is so cozy, it's so heartwarming. This is a story about Linus Baker, where Linus Baker had to travel to an orphanage where 6 dangerous children reside, including the Antichrist. So we are going to follow his visit to this orphanage, and yeah, we shall see. The next book is also thrifted, and that is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. I've heard that this book is so witty, is so funny, so that's why I picked this one up, and also I thrifted it. Dan dia so comot. In this book, we're following a story about a 15-year-old boy who is our narrator, I think, investigating the murder of the neighbor's dog. Right now, I'm in a bit of a heavy part in my work in which I am so busy. I need some lightness in my life. I think that this is going to help. Yeah, that's one. The last one is a classic fantasy book. This is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I never read any classic fantasy book before. I do not like this cover, but this is cheap. I got this for only, I think, 10 or 15 ringgit. But I had so many people love his writing, and I think that I'm going to fall in love the same way like this do. So this is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. And that's about it. That's all of the books that we have this time around. Thank you for witnessing a very poor money management that I have, a very little self-control that I have. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you in next one. Bye bye.